Hey guys, welcome to my channel Boundless. Today we are going to talk about thinking and suffering. So, most people suffer day to day without really getting to the root of the suffering. And while you may think that the root of the suffering is due to external events, which certainly they can influence it, but the root of suffering actually isn't thinking. So it is absolutely possible to feel pain without identifying with the pain itself. So whenever we start attaching the thoughts to that pain, that's when the suffering really gets a hold of us. So, how can we get to the point where we can experience life fully without being sabotaged by our thinking processes? What can we do? So you might be familiar with the term meditation, and it is probably going to be the single best thing to help you out. Now, to understand this, you have to know what meditation is, and there's so many like videos on YouTube, articles on Google that teach you about meditation. I've tried many techniques, and what I figured out is that it boils down to going to that state of mind where you are aware of whatever's happening without the thinking process being involved. And if it is involved, you're aware of the thinking and not identified with the thinking. So it's not necessarily that you're doing nothing, because everything is still happening in the world. It's just that the internal chatter is not believed to be you when you begin to understand how meditation works. So eventually you'll get to the point where it seems like the volume of your internal chatter actually minimizes. And I know this from experience because I've suffered from depression, anxiety, things like that, things of that nature. And I can tell you that thoughts were a big part, but I still deal with those things every here and there. But compared to a few years ago, there has been an amazing amount of progress. Keep in mind, I'm not a mental health professional or anything of that nature. I'm just a human being just like you. I'm trying to show you what is possible, so that you can live your life to its fullest potential without suffering, without being identified with your thinking. So, what I would do essentially is every day, maybe once, maybe twice, I would go into a deep kind of meditation. And what I would do is I would simply just sit there and not do anything in particular. I would just watch everything that would happen, whether it be daydreams that come up, whether it be thoughts that are roaming through my mind, senses like hearing, feeling, things like that. And I would just sit with all those things and realize that no matter what experience happened at that time, there was always something there that was just aware of that. And it kind of blew my mind because I was starting to see for the very first time that no matter what experience is had by me, there is always this awareness of experience. And so when I truly began to understand that, um, that's where this shift in my experience took place. So prior to this, I was always in my mind, in my head, and any thought that came my way, I knew it was a thought, but I didn't know I was thinking, if that makes sense. Like at the time, I didn't know I was thinking. So if anything negative would go through my mind or so, um, I would, at the time, I would think it was me that created that thought. But when you understand thoughts they happen, you do not create thoughts, but rather they just happen, just like everything else in the world. Everything just kind of happens on its own. And thoughts are like that as well. So it is wrong to believe that you are your thoughts. It's just like saying you're your finger, or you're your nose, or your ear. The combination of these things are part of you, but it's just simply not the totality of you. It's just a piece. So to believe that you are your thoughts is incorrect, and it'll create suffering. So, like I was saying before, the best way to start to notice this and become detached from thinking is to sit in meditation and watch when your mind creates thoughts. It is that simple, but it is difficult to do consistently. But if you stick with this kind of practice, eventually you'll come to the point where the internal chatter is just turned down significantly, allowing you to live in the present moment in a way that doesn't cause any suffering. It really just boils down to that. So, what I'm really trying to get at here is thoughts are part of you and they're useful tools, but they are not what you are. So, use them as a tool, but do not get caught up in them. Do not believe that they are you. The more we can sit in this, and some people call it peace, some people call it silence, some people call it stillness. There's so many different names for it, but it's the thing that you really cannot describe because it is the place where there's nothing to describe. That place from which thoughts arise, that's where you want to begin to abide more. And once you do that, you'll see that you are never your thoughts. And this gives you more power in a sense. And I'm not saying like power to be abused or anything like that. I mean, this gives you more power in yourself, knowing that whatever thoughts arise, you do not have to go with them. They can just pass right by you like a cloud. You can acknowledge them, but you just simply let it go. It's not in your control. A cloud rolling through the sky is not in your control, just like a thought. But the more you let go of this thinking process, the more you're able to live life in a way that is more meaningful and fulfilling. The suffering that once was there has been significantly reduced. And as you continue on this journey or on this path, you'll start to become less and less identified with anything. And this becoming less and less identified is exactly what's necessary to get you to the state where you are at peace with anything that happens. And I think that's what the world needs right now, is more peace, less suffering. And it's totally possible, but our ideas, our concepts, our mental structures get in the way of being peaceful. So yeah, if you're struggling with thinking, as most people are, and you're struggling with suffering, just consider what's being said here and just try it out. See what it can do for you to meditate. Thank you for watching this video. You have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.